Hello everybody, welcome to grade 12 economics. In today's tutorial, we are going to discuss together exam and answer from chapter 2 about the concept of the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply. All the exam prepared for you is the multiple choice. To answer each question, the time given for you 10 seconds. Within a 10 seconds, please try to answer the question. Then I will give the answer for the question. In order to get more new video, please don't forget to like and subscribe Dorii Tube channel. Let we start the operation of our exam. Multiple choice exam. Question number 1. Which one of the following best define aggregate demand? A. The total supply of goods and services in the economy. B. The total amount of money available for purchase goods and service. C. Demand for specific good or service in economy. D. The total investment made in an economy. The correct answer is B. Question number 2. Which of the following is not an element of aggregate demand? A. Private consumption. B. Private investment. C. Private income from abroad. D. Net export demand. Right answer is C. Except C, all are what? An element or the component is of aggregate demand. But private income from abroad is not an element of aggregate demand. Question number 3. Dash is a curve that shows the amount of the real output that the buyers desire to purchase at each price level, ceteris paribus. A. Aggregate supply curve. B. Aggregate demand curve. C. Consumption curve. D. GNP curve. Here the right answer is B. Since we are talking about the buyer, which is related to the aggregate demand. Therefore, the right answer is aggregate demand curve. Question number 4. Which one of the following factors can't make the aggregate demand downward? A. Real balance effect. B. Technology effect. C. Interest rate effect. D. International trade effect. E. Net factor income. The answer is E. Net factor income doesn't make the aggregate demand curve downward. The real balance effect, technology effect, interest rate effect, again international trade effect, causes the aggregate demand curve downward sloping. Question number 5. All of the following factors causes the aggregate demand curve to shift either to the right or to the left, except dash. A. General level of the income. B. General price level. C. Real interest rates. D. Availability of credit. The right answer is B. The general price level doesn't shift the aggregate demand curve either to the right or to the left. Except B, all are what? Aggregate demand curve shifter. They shift the aggregate demand curve either to the right or to the left. The general price level makes the aggregate demand curve to move on the same curve either downward or upward. Question number 6. If individual expect higher price in the future, then what will happen to the current consumption? A. Increase. B. Decrease. C. It is not affected. D. Its impact is unknown. The correct answer is A. When an individual expects higher price in the near future means they start to what? Increase the current consumption in order to overcome unnecessary expenditure in the near future. Question number 7. A decrease in the interest rate is dash. A. Increase consumption. B. Decrease investment. C. Increase investment. D. Increase net export. The correct answer is C. Decrease interest rates encourage the investors. Then the investment is what? Increasing. But if the interest rate is increasing, it causes the investors to cut the investment. But when the interest rate, decrease, the investment increasing. Question number 8. An increase in the business tax can lead to all of the following except dash. A. Lower expected profitability. B. Rise expected profitability. C. Aggregate demand decline. D. Decrease in investment spending. The right answer is B. Except B. All are correct. Increase in the business tax, when the government increase tax on the business, it lowers the expected profitability. This is true. Aggregate demand decline. This is true, because high tax means it decrease the consumption. Consumption decrease means aggregate demand decrease. Only decrease investment spending. Again, this is true. High tax means it discourages the investors. Then the investors cuts the investment. At that time, investment decline. This is not true. Increase business tax can't rise what or increase the profitability rather than it decrease the profitability. Question number 9. Which of the following is not a determinant of net export? A. Domestic and foreign incomes. B. Domestic and foreign trade policy. C. Relative price and exchange rate. D. Preference and technology. For this question, all are what? The determinants. A is the determinant, B is the determinant, C is the determinant, D is also the determinant. Therefore, there is no the right answer for this one, since all of those multiple choices the determinant of what? Net export. Okay, question number 10. Assume that the Ethiopian National Bank decide to appreciate Ethiopian birr in terms of USA dollar. Then which of the following is not true? A. Foreign goods become cheaper. B. Imports fails and export rise. C. Exports fail and import rise. D. Aggregate demand decrease. Correct answer is B. When Ethiopian birr appreciated or encouraged, that means the ability of the Ethiopian birr increasing in terms of dollar. So Ethiopian birr ability to buy something is increasing, means foreign good become cheaper. This is true. Export fails. This is true, because the Ethiopian product become what? More expensive for the foreigners. So no one wanted to buy the Ethiopian product. At that time, Ethiopian export is declined. Import rise. It is true. The Ethiopian birr to buy something is its ability is increasing. It means our import is also increasing. On the aggregate demand decrease. This is true. Since the net export is decreasing due to the decrease in the exports, net export is decline. Net export is decline means aggregate demand is also decline or decrease. This is not true. Import fails. Import is not fail. When the Ethiopian birr is appreciated or encouraged, our imports, the foreign products, is what? Increasing. Because the Ethiopian birr ability to buy good and service is increasing. Export rise. This is false. Export is what? Decline. Why? Because the Ethiopian product is become what? More expensive due to the appreciation of the Ethiopian birr. Question number 11. Which of the following statement is not true about the real wage and the labor? A. As the real wage rise, quantity supply for the labor rise. B. As the real wage fails, quantity supplied for the labor rise. C. As the real wage rise, the quantity demand of the labor fails. D. As the real wage fails, the quantity demanded of labor rises. Correct answer is B. Except B, all alternative choice is what? True. As the real wage rise means quantity supply of the labor is also rise or increase. This is true because when the real wage increase, the worker become motivated or encouraged, and the quantity of the supply of the labor in the market is what? Increasing. As the real wage rise, the quantity demand of the labor fails. This is true. The wage of the worker increasing means no one went to employ or hire the labor with the high wage. At that time, the demand for the labor in the market is what? Decline. On D, as the real wage fails, the price of the labor is declining. The quantity demand for the labor is increasing because since the labor is become what? Cheaper, the demand for the labor become what? Increasing in the market. Therefore, B is what? Not true. As the real wage fails, price of the labor decrease means the labor or the workers become what? Demoralized. So the quantity or the supply of the labor in the market is what? Decrease, not increase. Therefore, this is false. Question number 12. All of the following factors cause the aggregate supply curve shifters except dash A. Cost of input or change in input price. B. Change in productivity. C. General price level. D. State of technology. Right answer is what? C. Except C, all alternative choice cause the aggregate supply curve shift either to the right or it shifts to the left or to the right. The general price level can't shift the aggregate supply rather than what? We can move on the same aggregate supply curve either upward or downward. A, B, C, known as what? Aggregate supply curve shifters. Question number 30 up to number 50, it depends on this graph. Question number 13, the movement from point A to B, here this is point A and this is point B, A to B, on the aggregate demand curve shows A, increase in the quantity demand, B, decrease in quantity demand, C, increase in the aggregate demand, D, decrease in the aggregate demand. Correct answer is A. Movements from point A to B, it shows there is an increase in what? The quantity demand. Here at this point we have the price and again the quantity. At point B there is another price and again another quantity. Movement from A to B means price is decline. Price decline. When the price decline, the quantity demand or real GDP is what? Increasing. So movements along the same aggregate demand curve is causes increase quantity demand, not increase in aggregate demand. Please remember what the difference between change in the quantity demand and change in the aggregate demand. When we say change in the quantity demand is completely different from what? Change in the aggregate demand. Okay. Question number 14. Movement from point A to C. From point A to C on the aggregate demand curve shows A, increase in the quantity demand, B, decrease in the quantity demand, C, increase aggregate demand, D, decrease in aggregate demand. The right answer is C. Movement from point A to C means the aggregate demand is shift to the right. When the aggregate demand shifts to the right, it shows increase in aggregate demand, not in the quantity demand. Please identify when we say change in the quantity demand and the change in the aggregate demand. Change in the aggregate demand means the aggregate demand curve completely what? Shifts either from the right to the left or from the left to the right. So read from your notes what we already discussed. Question number 15. The movement from point D to C, here from D to C, on the aggregate demand curve shows increase in the quantity demand, decrease in the quantity demand, increase in the aggregate demand, decrease in aggregate demand. D is the answer. When the aggregate demand shifts to the left means the aggregate demand is what? Decrease. Not decrease in the quantity. Decrease in quantity is what? Movement is along the same curve. Let we say, for example, from B to A, it shows decrease in the quantity demand. But the movement from D to C, the aggregate demand curve shifts to the left. It shows decrease in the aggregate demand. Question number 16. What causes the movement along the aggregate demand curve? A. Change in price level. B. Change in the consumer income. C. Change in the government spending. D. Change in the technological advancement. A is the correct answer. The price level makes the aggregate demand curve. We can move on the same curves, either downward or upward, when the price is what? Changed. Movement along the aggregate demand curve caused by the price, not the consumer income. Consumer income shift the aggregate demand to the right or to the left. Government spending, again, it causes the aggregate demand to shift to the right or to the left. Advancement in technology, again, it causes the aggregate demand either it shifted to the right or to the left. B, C, and D are known as what? The aggregate demand curve shifter. Question number 17. What will cause an increase in aggregate demand? A. Decrease in consumer spending. B. An increase in exports. C. Decrease in government spending. D. an increase in taxi. B is the answer. Net exports increasing means aggregate demand is increasing because there is a positive relationship between net exports and the aggregate demand. As you know, aggregate demand formula is what? Aggregate demand is equal to consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus net export. So, decreased consumption cause aggregate demand to decrease. So, not increasing. Again, when the government spending is decreased means aggregate demand is also decreasing. An increase in taxi means it causes the aggregate demand decrease, not increase. In fact, of this one, the right answer is what? Increase net exports, increase the aggregate demand. Question number 18. When the aggregate demand exceeds aggregate supply, what happens to the price level and output in the short run? A. Price level increase and output decrease. B. Price level increase, output increase. C. Price level decrease, output decrease. D. Price level decrease and output increase. Right answer is A. When the aggregate demand greater than aggregate supply, demand greater than aggregate supply means the price of the product is what? Increasing, and the amount overall the output is decreasing. The rest one is not true. Question number 19. What is the cause movements along the aggregate supply curve? A. Change in the price level. B. Change in government regulation. C. Change in consumer spending. D. Change in technological advancement. The answer is A. Is the simplest one because we already discussed on the aggregate demand. Movement along the aggregate supply is caused by the price. That's the rest one cause the aggregate demand what? Shift to the right or to the left. B, C, D cause the aggregate demand, the aggregate supply to the left or to the right. That's the change in the price level cause the aggregate supply curve move along the same curves. Question number 20. What will cause an increase in short-run aggregate supply? A. An increase in the price level. B. An increase in taxi. C. An increase in government spending. D. An increase in imports. A is the answer. Aggregates in the short run, aggregate supply is what? Increasing due to an increase in the price, because there is a positive relationship between the price and the aggregate supply. When the price goes up or increasing, aggregate supply is also increasing. When the price level decreases, aggregate supply also decreases. The rest one not cause the aggregate supply to increase. Increase in taxi causes the aggregate supply to decrease, not increase. When the taxi is increasing, it means aggregate supply decreases. Government spending not related with the aggregate supply. Increase in imports again not related with the aggregate supply. Question number 21. When short-run aggregate supply exceed aggregate demand, what happens to the price level and the output in the short run? A. Price level increase and output decrease. C. Price level decrease and output decrease. C. Price level increase and output increase. D. Price level decrease and output increase. So the right answer is what? D. When supply exceed aggregate demand means when the supply is what? Greater than the aggregate demand. It causes the surplus. When there is a surplus, it causes the price level to decrease and the output increases. The rest one is not true. Question number 22. Which of the following is not determinant of long-run aggregate supply? A. General price level. B. Technological advancement. C. Availability of resource. D. Economy's productive capacity. A is the right answer. The long-run aggregate supply is not affected or not determined by the general price level. In the long run, the price is what? Neutral, not affect the aggregate supply. And we said that the long run aggregate supply is what? It is perpendicular or vertical line to the horizontal axis. Because of this one, any change in the price cannot affect what? The long run aggregate supply. In the long run, aggregate supply is affected by only technological advancements, if there is the availability of the resource or if the economy's productive capacity is changed, then the long run aggregate supply is also changed. But the general price level is what? Neutral in the long run. Question number 23. In the long run, the economy tends to reach A. Full employment, B. Equilibrium output, C. Stable price level, D. All of the above. D is the answer. All of the above is what causes the economy tends to or reach the equilibrium at full employment. Again, equilibrium output. Price is also stable. At the vertical line of aggregate supply, at that point, there is the full employment. All resources are fully utilized. The output is at equilibrium. Price is also stable. Price become what? Neutral. It doesn't affect the long run aggregate supply especially. Therefore, all are what? True. Which of the following is an example of external shocks that shift the aggregate supply curve? A. Change consumer spending. B. Change in international trade policy. C. Change in government regulation. D. Change in technological advancement. B is the right answer. B is the external factors that make the aggregate supply to what? Shock. Maybe the rest one is the economy. Question number 25. In a market, when the quantity demand exceeds the quantity supply at a given price, it results in dash. A. Equilibrium. B. Surplus. C. Shortage. D. None of the above. C is the answer. When the quantity demand greater than quantity supply, it causes the shortage in the market because the amount products that are needed by the people is greater than the quantity that is supplied by the sellers. Therefore, it creates what? The shortage in the market. An increase in the price of the raw material used in the production is likely to result in A. An increase in the quantity demand. B. An increase in the quantity supplied. C. A decrease in the quantity demanded. D. A decrease in the quantity supplied. The right answer is what? D. When the cost of production or the price of the raw material increasing emits, it causes decrease in the quantity supplied. raw material become what? More expensive. So the producer cannot produce more products. When the product is not produced in large amount means the supply or the quantity supply in the market is what? It is decreasing. Question number 27. When there is a surplus of the product, what is likely to happen to the price? A. Price will increase. B. Price will remain unchanged. C. Price will decrease. D. The price will fluctuate unpredictably. The correct answer is what? C. When there is a surplus, means aggregate supply greater than aggregate demand. So when the supply is greater than the aggregate demand, it causes the surplus. Surplus means it causes the competition among the seller to sell their products. They compete within each other by cutting the price. During the surplus, the seller compete within each other by decreasing the price. Therefore, this situation may happen. Question number 28. A technological advancement that improves the production efficiency is likely to result in A. An increase in quantity demanded. B. An increase in quantity supplied. C. Decrease in quantity demanded. D. Decrease in quantity supplied. B is the correct answer. When there is advancement in technology, or if there is the improvement in technology, it causes what? Increase the quantity supplied. If the producer use the latest or modern technology means they produce more products. If the more product is produced, the quantity supply is increasing. Question number 29. Real wage refers to A. Wage adjusted for inflation. B. Wage before tax. C. Wage paid in cash. D. Wage after deduction. A is the right answer. Real wage means wage that is adjusted after the inflation. It does not include the inflation, unlike of what? The nominal. Nominal wage includes the inflation, but the real wage doesn't include what? The inflation. Question number 30. If nominal wage increase while the price level remain constant, what happens to the real wage? A. Real wage increase. B. Real wage remain unchanged. C. Real wage decrease. D. Real wage cannot be determined. is the correct answer. When the nominal wage increase and the price remain constant, it causes what? The real wage increases. You know that the formula of the real wage. So when the nominal wage increasing and price is constant, consumer price index is constant, this cause the real wage is what? Increasing. Dividing the increasing number by the constant number, the result is an increasing number. So if the nominal wage increase, price is constant, it causes the real wage increase. Question number 31. If the price level increase at faster rate than nominal wage, what happens to the real wage? A. Real wage increase. B. Real wage remain unchanged. C. Real wage decrease. D. Real wage cannot be determined. C is the correct answer. An increase in the price level is what? Greater than an increase in the nominal wage. At that time, it creates what? The real wage to become decrease. Even if both of them increasing, nominal wage increase, price also increase, but the increase in the price is what? Faster than the nominal. So the denominator is what? Become increasing faster. At that time, it causes the real wage decline. Question number 32. If the nominal wage rate is $15 per hour and the inflation rate is 3%, what is the real wage rate? A. $14.55 per hour. B. $14.85 per hour. C. $15.45 per hour. D. $15.6 per hour. A is the correct answer. How you can get this one? Real wage is equal to nominal wage into 1 minus 0.03. 1 means full 100%, and 0.03 means 0.03, which is comes from this 3%. Therefore, the nominal wage is given. It is $15. $15 into 1 minus 0.03 means, which is equal to $14.55. The last question. In a period of deflation, where the price level is decreasing, what happens to the real wage if the nominal wages remain constant? A. Real wage increase, B, real wage remain unchanged, C, real wage decrease, D, real wage cannot be determined. The answer is what? A, real wage increase during the deflation. Deflation means when the general price level is decreasing. So price is decreasing means, and the nominal wage is constant. Therefore, the real wage is what? It goes up. This denominator is decline, and this number is constant. The result is an increasing number. Therefore, during the deflation, when the general price level is decreasing and the nominal wage is constant, it causes the real wage increases. This is all about this exam, and I think you can get some important understanding on the concept of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Let me stop on this one. See you by the next video.